And you hear it out there all the time now. You hear it out there all the time now. Well, we can't afford a stable population because the economy would collapse. Now that's true. The way we do economics now. And the unfortunate fact is we don't know how to do economics another way yet. I think we can invent it. And I think we are inventing it. And I'll bet there are business people in this room who are differentiating their product based on the conscientiousness with which it was created and based on the whole positive cycle of creating it. And capitalism has been, and I think will continue to be, a very positive force in the world. This actually comes as a surprise to a lot of people, but I'm trying to find the numbers to make sure I get them right. There were, in 1885, where did I put the numbers? Surely somebody else was in charge of this. In 1885, people living on less than $1 per day was 85% of all humanity. And I'm talking about adjusted for inflation. In 1885, 85% of all human beings lived on less than $1 a day. They were in that dire state of poverty where they couldn't be sure they would have enough to eat. That number is 20% today. That's a powerful improvement in people's state in their quality of life. The average lifespan in the year 1700 in Western Europe, where people were fairly well-to-do, was 30. Now it's 82. Capitalism and the power of engaging people in inventing their own economic forces, which is what capitalism does, has been a powerful positive force in the world. And I think a form of it must be a powerful force in tomorrow's world. But the folks on the TV cable channels, which shall remain nameless, that which shall not be named, who say continuously it's anti-capitalistic to think about the social impact of capitalism, are people locked in infantile capitalism. We only just invented it a few generations ago. We don't know how it really works yet. And we don't know how to do cool stuff with it yet. We've gotten some pretty cool stuff out of it, as I was saying, even though we don't really know how it works. But the most important, I think some of the most important thinkers in the youngest generation in this room are going to be people engaged in economics. We have a lot of work to do in economics. We have a lot of fun work to do, and we're going to accomplish some really cool stuff. So now I've acknowledged these obstacles. Once I kind of spelled those things out, those of you looking for a connection between what I'm saying and the pictures appearing on the screen will continue to be disappointed. This is my wife in one of last year's lambs. I got to thinking, well, these are big obstacles, but I feel every day really enthused about this environmental thing, about the idea of sustainability, about working toward it. What gets my juices flowing? Why do I feel optimistic? Why am I excited to get up and do the job? And I thought, well, a lot of it is the fact that I get to do a bunch of little cool things. Raising organic sheep and goats and cattle, and vegetable gardening, and driving a plug-in car, and I get excited about this stuff. And I thought, well, why does that help? And I thought, well, it's like taking little steps up the side of the obstacle. It's like climbing to a little ridge on a mountain. And from that ridge, you can start to kind of see a future beyond the obstacle. That's how it feels to me anyway. And I got to thinking about my business. Now, Mother Earth News, gosh, we've had some of the best years ever in the history of the magazine. We've been growing rapidly. It makes a lot of money. 2 years ago, it was the fastest growing magazine on American newsstands. We passed Playboy on the newsstand. Thank you. Thank you. I'm kind of the Hugh Hefner of sustainability. And then this year, there's a company called Affinity that does big studies of the media. And one of the questions they always ask is, what's the magazine most likely to be a reader's favorite? Of the 200 biggest magazines in North America, and this year that was Mother Earth News. So all that begs the question. I'm very grateful for that, but it all begs the question, why? This is a pretty goofy magazine, really. Until recently, one of our biggest advertisers made composting toilets. Well, and I think it's because Mother Earth News has always been about cool stuff you can do, And virtually every week somebody calls me, I talk to somebody somewhere, and they start out by saying, now, I'm not an environmentalist, but I just love Mother Earth News, And the first 200 times that happened, I thought, this is pretty crazy. But then you come to, it dawned on me, everybody has the same destination in mind. Clean air, clean water, prosperity, a groovy place to live for future generations of human beings. We're busy arguing about the next obstacle, the next move, what we're going to do next, and ignoring the fact that we all agree on the destination. And through the process of doing these small, everyday things in our own lives, we build enthusiasm for the big goal down the road. Now, I demonstrate this on a daily basis by talking in wildly passionate and